A very common question that is asked in all my classes is, do I need to hold my threads when I start to sew? And I'm going to show you how you don't have to, and why you were probably taught to hold them when you were younger. So you've heard me talk about this take-up lever in some of our videos. When you start and stop, if this is at the highest position, it means that the last stitch you took, it has been completed. That means when we start our next stitch, we're at the very beginning of the sequence. Now, the only time that I would suggest holding on the threads is if you're going to put your fabric in and the needle's not going to come into fabric first, meaning you haven't pushed it in far enough and the needle's going to come into air. Yes, probably hold on to those threads because there's nothing for it to kind of attach itself to. But I always say if you put your fabric in far enough that when you lower your presser foot down and you can see fabric underneath your needle, you do not have to hold these, and this is why. So let me go ahead and stitch a little bit, okay, and you can see that I did not have to hold my threads, okay. So when I'm done with a seam, I'm going to take my hand wheel here. I'm always turning it towards me. I'm bringing the needle up, but I'm also bringing the take-up lever to the highest point. That's when I'll take this out and pull my threads out and cut them. So here is why people sometimes have to hold their threads. When they're stitching, if you're done and you look and you notice, and actually this is funny, it actually stopped exactly where I wanted it to. The needle is up, but the take-up lever, I can actually see it, it's way down here. So if I pull my fabric out, cut my thread, and I go to start, this take-up lever is still finishing the last stitch and it's pulling the thread out of the needle. So if you've ever sewed and the thread just gets pulled out of the needle and you think it's the machine's fault, I'm actually sorry to say it was actually your fault. You didn't finish the last stitch. So that's why you'll always see me before I take any fabric out, you'll see me come over here, finish that stitch. So that is the easiest thing. I think I was taught that when I do remember being taught at a very young age. I have a memory of sewing at the age of 3, and my mom showing me to turn the hand wheel, bring this to the top, and then I was allowed to take my fabric out. And guess what? I never had sewing issues. So it's truly the way a machine works. This will be true on any sewing machine. So watch for this little guy here, and I can guarantee this will take care of 80 to 90% of people's sewing problems if they would just do exactly what I showed you. Bring the needle up, bring this to the highest position, always turn the hand wheel towards you, never away from you, and that is going to keep the machine always running in the correct order.